All right, boys, it's DWG Mondays after a Sunday close. The Clopen. It's always tough. I have not had my coffee yet. I do need a coffee. I will get a coffee, and I will be going to bed. These are the nights when I go to bed at 7:30. If I have a night off, I'm usually in the bed by 7:30, 8:30, somewhere around there, because body just can't take it. So maybe watch 20 minutes of the Raptors game. And speaking of the Raptors, they won their first game in the round 2 against the 76ers. They're looking pretty good. I will say I watched a little bit of the game on Saturday night, and from what I saw, so I was over at Shawzy's, it seemed like every time once we turned the TV on and started watching it, they were just throwing up bricks. Mainly Kyle Lowry, which is par for the course. Kyle Lowry playoffs. Running down the court, throwing up a bomb like there's 2 seconds left in the game and he's got a full time clock. Don't understand that, but I guess Kyle Lowry's going to do Kyle Lowry. Vladdy Jr. getting the serenade and the standing ovation at the game in the stands, and the Stroh Show just jealous as fuck because it's always got to be about him. A fucking prima donna. I can't stand that guy. Heart doesn't measure height, but it doesn't measure the fucking size of your head either. But that's beside the point. The Raptors, Kawhi Leonard and Pascal Siakam looked really, really good. And when it comes to adjustments, Philly's going to have to make an adjustment. And that adjustment is they're going to have to put Ben Simmons on Siakam. Simmons can't hang with Leonard. Leonard's just going to shred him to pieces. So if I'm Philly, I'm switching up, and I'm putting Simmons on Siakam, and hopefully that length can pose a bit of problems, and at least you're eliminating one of your issues, and then you got to basically put it all on Leonard, which you can. He's a gamer, but I would switch that off. Put Butler as even though he doesn't have the size, he's got a little bit of veteran leadership there. Butler is a gamer as well. I'm just wondering if that's the better matchup, because what we saw the other night wasn't working. And Gasol is just eating Embiid alive, just eating him alive. So, like I said when the playoffs began, if this series happened to come to fruition, which it has, I said that there would be some matchup problems for Philly, and Toronto matches up really well. In the other Eastern Final, Boston, who I've been saying for weeks was the team that Toronto would have to look at if they ever got that far. They walk into Milwaukee and they absolutely destroy the Bucks, the number 1 seed in Game 1. And I'm telling you right now, the reason why Boston's going to win that series, and they're going to win in 7, because I figured, Milwaukee will make some adjustments, is because they've been there before. They have the big game killers, ice in their veins, that can make the shots when the time comes to the crunch. They've got some junkyard dogs. I'm telling you, they have got some real. We use the term heavy in hockey. The Boston Celtics have some playoff type heavy players that are very difficult to play against. They do not make it easy on either side of the court for you. And Milwaukee, as great as Giannis is, those guys don't have the sandpaper that Boston does. Boston has sandpaper, and they got big game hunters. And that's why Boston's going to win that series. And they're already at 1-0. And I tell you what, if they go back in there and they slap around Milwaukee again tomorrow night, it's not looking good for Milwaukee. It might even go 5 if that's the case. Just don't have an answer. And then yesterday we saw, this is what we're going to see in the Golden State Houston series. We're going to see a whole lot of fucking drama. We're going to see James Harden mopping the floor, diving everywhere like a goddamn soccer player. We're going to see Kevin Durant open new burner accounts, bitch and complain every time there's a media. And we're going to see Draymond Green punch somebody in the face. And we're going to see Steve Kerr get upset with the media member who questions how good their team is. And we're going to see Chris Paul just be pissed off at every single call on the court. And LeBron James is going to be tweeting all about it. And it's going to be just like Young and the Restless this series. So good luck to Houston, but they're going to lose in 6. And they're going to go down fighting, and hopefully, maybe a Golden State player can get injured or two. That's what I'm hoping. And then the other series gets going tonight. Damian Lillard, just an absolute stone-cold killer. He's going to be playing Denver. Jamal Murray, the Canadian, plays for Denver. He's going to be in that series, and it should be a pretty good series. I can't really pick one right now, but I would think I'm leaning towards maybe Portland, just simply because I like Portland. I just like their makeup of their team. And, hindsight's 20/20, but if Portland still had LaMarcus Aldridge, who's been playing for San Antonio for a couple of years now, but he was their centerman at one point. And if they had him, my goodness, Portland would probably be my pick to. They would have potentially, pushed Golden State, but they just don't have all the weapons. They've got some amazing players, but they're gonna have matchup problems against Golden State if they get that far. So the OHL. Well, the OHL. Let me tell you, those pesky Guelph Storm, down 3-1 in the series, the Western Final against the Saginaw Spirit, had a home game at the Sleeman Center last night or yesterday afternoon, and boy, what did they do? They came back. They beat Saginaw on Friday night. Then they came back and beat them in their own barn Sunday afternoon to force a Game 7 tonight. So Game 7 goes tonight back in Saginaw. The winner wins the West and will be facing the well-rested 12-0 Ottawa 67s in the OHL final, which will probably begin, I would imagine, on either Thursday or Friday. So that should be an interesting matchup. I'll be watching the ticker, and certainly tomorrow morning we'll find out who the Ottawa 67s are going to be playing. And I would say it's going to start on Friday just because, if it's Guelph, they're going to want at least 3 or 4 days rest here, back-to-back 7-game series. If it's Saginaw, we're looking at the two extremes in terms of travel pretty much when it comes to the final, right? Saginaw and Ottawa are probably 10 hours apart, I would think, traveling. So that series is going to start in Ottawa, and I'm going to say it's probably going to start Friday night. So whoever they meet should be interesting. The Prince Albert Raiders too are off to the WHL final. I have my resident scout from Kamoka letting me know, because he's Ian Scott Nuthugger, who Ian Scott is the starting goalie for the Prince Albert Raiders. It just happens to be a Toronto Maple Leaf prospect who's had a I wouldn't say complete, but almost Carter Hart type season that Carter Hart had his last year in Everett. Ian Scott had a pretty good year, and so the Kamoka Nuthuggers are out, and they're letting me know how Prince Albert's doing. They were a top-ranked team all year as well, so they're into the final. In the NHL, we have storm surge going on right now, and for the better part of the game, we had a 1-0 game at the Barclays Arena on a Sunday afternoon. Boy, I can't imagine how exciting that game must have been. and then to have Carolina come back and score 2 goals in the third period to make an exciting, high-scoring, thriller 2-1 hockey game. I can't believe I missed it. I think I'm gonna PVR the next one so I can watch it 3 or 4 fucking times. Carolina's up 2-0, and I don't care. I'm just still amazed that the New York Islanders made some kind of fucked up arrangement where they would play their second round at the Barclays Arena after playing in Nassau and seeing, you know, the fans there when they packed the building, and such a hard place to play in the first round. They go to the library at Barclays Arena, and you know, sometimes I say if there's not a lot of fans in the seats, I say that there's a lot of fans dressed as seats tonight. Well, at the Barclays Arena, there's fans dressed as fucking cars. But, you know, I guess they didn't want the revenue in the third round. That must have been the plan. They must have figured, well, if we win 1 round, we better not win 2. Let's take it and put it at Barclays. So now they're off to Carolina, the hot Carolina Hurricanes, looking to take a stranglehold of this series and go up 3-0 on Tuesday night. And boy, the storm surge is happening. It's exciting. Good for those fans. Nothing greater than seeing Carolina go to another Cup final. Eastern final first, but we'll see what happens there. We got a big game in the other series, Boston against Columbus. Going back to Columbus, and after the game, Columbus won the other night. One of the beat reporters for Columbus asked Brandon Dubinsky what it's going to be like to play Game 3 in Columbus, and he just quipped right back and said, well, it's sure as hell going to be a lot louder than it is here in Boston. So over to you, Brandon Dubinsky. Should be an interesting matchup. Maybe they'll get the cannons fired, but you know, that was a big, you know, Boston had to win that game because now it's advantage Columbus, and if Columbus wins the next 2 games here at home, I hate to say it, Boston fans, but it's not looking good. Not looking good. I think you're gonna run out of gas. So that Game 3 is a massive game, and then we've got a big game tonight. So Colorado last night, they beat San Jose. Just like I said on my DWG weekend edition, I said that Colorado was going to make the adjustments. They've gone through this the whole season, and they're very honest with each other. They come up with a game plan and they execute, and they did exactly just that. And if they can rattle Jones with the way the San Jose Sharks are banged up, this series could turn on a dime exactly like the last series when they beat Calgary, and it could turn fast. So watch for Game 3 to see if San Jose can make any adjustments and push back, and if they can't, Colorado might have the advantage. St. Louis, Dallas. I was a little surprised that Dallas won the other night against St. Louis, and they hold the hammer too. So I mean, we could see some series here. They're going to go 6-7 games. It's very hard to see how things are developing. I don't think one team is ahead of any other team other than Carolina. So very interested to see how that goes. So that's all I got for today, gentlemen. Hope you're doing well. We'll talk to you soon.